And then there was 8. As we welcome you guys into the Triangle again today. Dan Kenny, TJ Hopkins, David Huffman. So we're going to talk about the NCAA tournament. There are only 8 teams left. How do you guys feel about the teams remaining? What's going on with the tournament? Is Kentucky unbeatable?
To answer your last question, yes, Dave, Kentucky is unbeatable. TJ, I'm going to let you start.
Man, they put a whooping up on West Virginia. Like that was just.
I think
it was like 18-4 at one point. I'm like,
I watched the first 5 minutes of the game and it was already over.
Yeah.
5 minutes in, it was over.
I just want to point this out. Hampton played better.
Hampton did play. I agree. Hampton did put up a better fight then.
I just want to point that out. Hampton played better.
They did.
Yeah. Okay.
But
they get beat by 40. All right. Yeah.
And the scary thing is, their best player, Kentucky's best player, Karl Anthony Towns, had an awful game, and then they still
he had foul trouble the whole game.
Yeah, and they still absolutely picked apart West Virginia. Imagine if they're all playing on full cylinders like they were yesterday.
What's the kid's name? Daxter Miles.
For West Virginia.
It's like if you're gonna talk,
yeah.
at least score.
Well, yeah, but West Virginia's not really they're not a high-scoring team. Like they're never really a high-scoring team.
You still got to score.
This is not the way you're gonna beat. You
still got to score.
If you can't score the basketball,
he went 0 for 3.
I think
he took 3 shots.
I think
Notre
Dame can give them a run for their money because they can actually score the basketball.
He missed 3 shots and the free throw.
I think that's gonna be a great game today.
It should be a good game.
This is Kentucky's biggest test.
It's gonna be a test, but I think I feel like it's the same old story. Like Notre Dame's good, but
they're small.
No one. I think the only time I think people want to see what the people want to see, which is Kentucky versus Duke
or Wisconsin.
Because those
that would play each other in the Final Four game before they get to the championship.
Kentucky and I feel like Duke, they have the bigs to match up.
Justice Winslow is a tenacious defender. I'm just throwing that out there.
There aren't a lot of teams in college basketball that have start 2 7-footers and then off the bench
you have
bring in 2 more 7-footers. This just doesn't happen in college basketball.
Skilled 7-footers.
Yeah.
Duke has that. I don't know who their starting 4 is, but they can bring in a Marshall Plumlee off the bench. That's you can't teach 7 foot. He may not be as skilled as Kentucky's big man, but you can't teach 7 foot. All you really have to do is just be 7 foot. Be a nuisance, be aggravating, just annoy them. I saw Kentucky. I saw the game against who was it? Was it Cincinnati?
Yes.
They got I've never seen Kentucky that irritated. You can see that they were bothered just a little bit. Cincinnati did give him a fight. Although it was a little one, they gave him a fight. I never saw I never seen that Kentucky this Kentucky team get irate to that extent when they played Cincinnati.
And then what happened?
I mean, they still won, but
you just buried them.
But it's like,
so once you poke the bear kills you.
Yeah,
is basically what you're saying.
I mean,
the bear takes.
I mean, the problem with that is Cincinnati stopped poking the bear. I mean, I kind of figure if you
the Bearcats stop poking the bear.
Exactly. If you're gonna poke the bear, you might as well keep poking it. I mean, you saw it. It worked to an extent.
Let me raise a question. What does Notre Dame have to do in order to
hit threes?
Beat?
They have to hit their outside shots.
They have to hit threes. Period. They have to shoot them. They have to shoot the 3 at a high percentage, and they have to make a lot of them.
And one thing I kind of noticed against the game,
and they got to play. They got to play good defense.
That too. One thing I noticed the West Virginia game, I started watching early too. West Virginia,
5 minutes in, it was over.
Yeah, West Virginia loves to press.
Yeah, but they were getting broken down off the press.
They love they love to press. They are a physical team, and the refs were kind of early with the whistles. I think one of their key players got hit with 2 fouls in a minute and a half.
Yeah, so you had to go to the bench.
So you got that right there kind of took their that right there kind of took their demeanor away, because it's they couldn't respond to it, because it's the refs took them out of their element. It's they. I'm not blaming the refs. It's just they didn't respond well to that adversity, because they've been doing that all year long, And
the
like
officiating at this tournament has been questionable at best in most of the games. So yeah, it's
hard being a ref though. Like
yeah, I'll give you that. It's hard.
They need younger refs.
I just like they shouldn't.
They need younger refs. That's what I think.
The call is just so like ticky tack fouls. Like it just let them play a little. Like,
exactly.
It's basketball. Let them play a little bit. Like ticky tack.
Like
you tap somebody and it's automatically like a foul. Like it's come on, let them play a little.
The Joey Crawfords of the world, like they need to hang it up. Like we need younger refs. We need refs like our age.
I like Joey Crawford.
I hate Joey Crawford.
Joey Crawford.
I hate Joey Crawford with a passion.
That's where you cross the line.
I hate Joey Crawford.
Joey Crawford is a fun guy.
As the media, it's not our responsibility in order to dictate or tell someone when they should retire, when they should hang up.
I do it all
boots.
the time.
That's not that's not.
I don't think Joey Crawford should retire. He's too much fun.
They'll retire when they're ready. If they're not ready to retire, they shouldn't.
Jig doing the calls,
Okay.
like he is.
When the ref can't make it up to court.
He's also coming off like knee surgery.
Exactly. Why? Dude.
If he loves what he's doing, so he's making a living doing what he loves, dude. Like I can't even hate on him for it. Joey Crawford's a fun guy, dude.
He's terrible.
Did you guys see the Spurs like dressed up for Halloween? One of them they dressed up like as Joey Crawford and they had him like in a headlock for Halloween because
all right.
Let's go back to the tournament now.
For Notre Dame to beat Kentucky,
they gotta hit threes. Period.
They that and Jarian Grant.
Yeah.
Has to be a dog.
He's got to play like an All-American.
He has to he is, but he has to play like a dog. Like he has to be that little pit bull. He has to carry that name like he hasn't carried it before. Like
I still think it's gonna be tough.
So you're telling me Notre Dame's gonna have to live by the three, and most likely they're gonna die by the three because if they threes are a low percentage shot overall. They're probably shooting around 33%. Kentucky has 3 guys in their starting lineup that are 6'10" or taller. They're not. What I'm getting at is Notre Dame's not going to be getting a whole ton of rebounds when Kentucky's boxing.
Yeah, if they're not hitting outside shots, the game will be over.
I mean, West Virginia,
they have to shoot the basketball and make it a lot.
I mean, like
they have to shoot a lot of threes.
Although West Virginia lost the game, they did beat Kentucky on the boards. Like they did have more offensive rebounds than.
Yeah.
Congratulations, West Virginia! You won in the category.
I'm just saying, like it can be done. Like, they can if they can get they can be rebounded. Like I don't know what Notre Dame is gonna do.
Notre Dame's not out rebounding this team. They're gonna have to make shots. Period. Like there's no other way for them to win. Yeah. They're gonna have to shoot a high percentage, and they're gonna have to play tenacious defense.
Kentucky's not Wichita State. They're a lot bigger. They're a lot more polished. Wichita State has more veterans on their team, yes, but
Kentucky could possibly have 10 players drafted in this draft. 10. The entire roster drafted.
I said that one podcast. You kind of laughed at me.
No, I'm
10 I think is a little bit of an over-exaggeration.
But it's not.
I think
it's really not.
It could be.
Like,
they could have 5 guys in the first round.
Yes. But
then
maybe 6 or 7 because Trey Lyles can go in the first round.
Yes,
I was including him as my 5.
Yeah, but let me tell you, Tyler Ulis, the 5'7" point guard for Kentucky, he's not declaring for the NBA draft.
He's
talented. He's a great point guard.
If they declare for the draft, I think 10 people will get drafted from this Kentucky team. Even the undersized point guard will probably get drafted. I mean, like Nate Robinson has made a career for himself. Ty Lawson, these undersized players.
I think
DJ Augustine,
as long as he can score.
Ulis is shorter than these guys.
Yeah, I know. You know.
He's like Earl Boykins.
He's not that short.
Earl Boykins. And
Earl Boykins, like in the old school video games, like the old school one games, he was like so much shorter than every other player in the game. It was just,
but he'd still rip the ball.
Yeah.
And what's the next game? We got Louisville and Michigan State.
Louisville and Michigan State. I feel like I feel like that's like the most unsexy matchup of the entire.
But that's
of the 4. Like it's just Louisville, Michigan State. Like Tom Izzo, Rick Pitino. It's like okay.
Yeah. That's not a game I'm going to be tuning in.
Watch that game be the most exciting.
I think it'll be close. I think because the teams are so well matched, but I don't think it'll be very exciting basketball to watch. I think it'll be low scoring. It's going to be
Louisville's taking it.
Think so?
I would put my money on Michigan State.
I'm riding with this though.
Yeah. I think the best matchup of the 4 though, Wisconsin, Arizona.
Of course.
Arizona.
of last year's final, or last year's Elite Eight, or was it Final Four last year?
It was Elite Eight.
Elite Eight. So yeah, they're gonna play again. And last year was a good game.
Wisconsin beat them 65-63 in overtime.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna be a really good game. Really good game.
I have Arizona winning that one.
Yeah,
Wisconsin needs more from Nigel Hayes. He really didn't have a great performance. Actually, both teams almost lost to their whoever they played.
Yeah, I was rooting for Xavier, even though it would have ruined my bracket.
Yeah.
But it's finished anyway. So I just want to see some super underdogs go into that.
Yeah, you kind of want to see these big teams fall.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting matchup. Both teams are coming off very close, narrow victories. Both teams were highly favored coming into the tournament. Both teams have stars. It's going to be a very compelling matchup, and I'm not sure who to pick in this one.
My bracket needs Arizona to win, but
your bracket's been done since day 2.
No, I still got a chance.
Day 1.
Yeah. It's not the other one. The other one's super finished.
I actually need Arizona to win because I have Arizona winning the whole thing.
I have that as well.
Like, I have Arizona beating Wisconsin, going to place Kentucky in the Final Four, and I have them beating Kentucky to go to the championship.
Sorry. Like, I was going to ask you, I guess I'll ask you now, it's not too late to change your pick if you guys want to hop on the Kentucky bandwagon with me.
No, I'm gonna stick with Arizona.
Are you guys
stick with Iowa State.
This is the last time I'm offering this. So if you don't hop on the Kentucky bandwagon right now,
I mean, if Kentucky,
you're not hopping on.
If Kentucky goes 40-0, they go 40-0. Like, good job, but
more than a good job. It has been done since the 70s.
Arizona.
Yes. It's not just a thumbs up like, oh, well, congratulations, you win 40-0. This is a very a monumental moment in sports history. And if they do this,
especially with recruiting the way it is now, it's going to be, I'm rooting for the 40-0, but I want Arizona to win. And I want them to win it all. And I want Notre Dame to beat them too. Go Notre Dame.
Like, can you imagine, like, the uproar? Like, they would get just as much uproar if they lose.
No, I don't think so.
What?
I mean,
it's going to be a big deal if they lose. It's going to be a huge deal if they lose.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be. The season will ever be seen as a disappointment if they lose at this point.
I'm not calling it a disappointment. I'm just saying, if they lose,
there's going to be a lot of reaction.
A lot.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be the lead story on ESPN for
about
5 days.
Yeah, but even if they win, it's going to be the lead story on ESPN.
Yeah.
Like, as long as they keep winning or whatever happens with them, they're going to be on ESPN as the top story.
I'm saying it's more important if they win. I feel like there's more at stake if they win than if they lose. But let's bring back to this Wisconsin-Arizona matchup. Who's taking this?
I got Arizona.
I like Arizona as well.
Well, I know you guys picked them before the tournament, but matchup-wise, do you think they have an advantage over Wisconsin?
No, I think it's a dead even. I think they're both.
They
really
cancel
skilled.
each other out.
I think they're both really skilled, and I could just see Arizona making a few more shots than Wisconsin.
Then what proposal?
The matchup I want to see is Rondé Hollis Jefferson versus Frank Kaminsky. I want to see that. I want to see those two heavyweights just go to war.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna probably pick Wisconsin. I'm gonna root for Arizona just because I like Arizona better. But I think Wisconsin has. I think their stars are more talented than Arizona's at this point.
I think they're more polished, maybe.
Yes, more polished. Maybe not more talented, but more polished. I really like Nigel Hayes, but he needs to step it up.
I think Wisconsin stars know who they are more than Arizona stars.
Yeah.
Like, they know their role,
Johnson,
and they know who they are.
Yeah, but Arizona's got a lot of young guys
and
with bad acne. And
so the last matchup is Duke Gonzaga. Any opinion on this game at all?
There is no opinion. Duke is going to win this game.
I love Duke's squad.
I'm also a fan of Duke. I think this game is going to probably be the least competitive of the four.
Don't get me wrong. Like, Gonzaga's, they've always had.
They're tough.
They're tough. Like, they've always had a good team, but it's just like it's kind of like the same thing with like what you talk. It's kind of like the same thing with them. Like, who do they really play?
Yeah, they don't play nobody.
Like, who do they really like? Like we see it like every year with them. Like they have this phenomenal record. They get ranked top 5. They go to the tournament and then they get bounced.
I'm actually surprised they're even still in the tournament
Yes.
at this point. Like,
right, and then they get bounced. Like it's an age-old story with them. It's just
Justice Winslow is an eraser on Duke's defense.
Yeah.
He's going to be an absolute stud in the NBA. I'm sure he's going to declare this year. But him, Tyus Jones,
what
Jaleel
is his NBA ceiling? If you had to pick a ceiling for him,
I can't even fathom his ceiling right now. He's so young. He's a large player. He's big. He's tall. He's got great
I
defense.
kind of hope he stays. Like,
wait.
Like,
If you had to project him next level, what would be his projection for you? What would he? Who is he most similar to?
He reminds me kind of don't hold me to the water, but kind of a left-handed Paul George, a little bit. I really like I'm very high on him as a player.
Me personally, I want him to stay. I want him to stay. I want him to stay because like I feel like his offensive game isn't where it needs to be to go to the NBA. Like if he declares this year, I wish him I wish him all the best. But me personally, I want him to stay.
If they win the national championship, I think
if they win the national championship, that whole starting five is gone.
Yeah.
Tyus Jones will be drafted. Jaleel obviously is going to be the number one pick
Or two.
Unless Moutier like that. He's the dark horse from China right now.
Well, I think it's better to call Anthony Towns could be.
I feel Jaleel Okafor has a little bit more to offer.
I think he's more NBA ready today.
Yes.
I think
Towns. But the thing about Towns, what I really like, is for being a 7-footer, he's a great free throw shooter. He shoots about 70%, which is rare for big men.
It's not even that. They project him to be able to guard all five positions on the court at 7 feet tall. Point guards. Like if you play the Thunder and you have Karl Anthony Towns on your team, you're going to be able to have him guard Russell Westbrook and Ibaka with the same guy. That's crazy.
I like Okafor's NBA, I guess, talent better just because Karl Anthony Towns doesn't have the huge games. Like you'll see him put up 12 points a game, and I mean that's okay. But Kentucky's a really deep team, but Jaleel Okafor will have a 29-point game.
But
he's a baby Tim Duncan.
Kentucky goes 10 deep.
Yeah,
like they're not that many teams.
It's the playing style and
it's like they're not that many
method.
teams that play 10 deep. So like he doesn't get the playing. If he had the playing time that Okafor got, I'm sure he would put up monster numbers, and I'm sure he's going to be really good next level.
Yeah.
But like that would be a coaching matchup of the ages, like to see Coach K versus Calipari. Like Coach K is like
I don't know about coaching matchup for the ages, but
it really is. It really is like because like you say, Calipari can go 10 deep.
Yeah.
Coach K can't really do that.
I mean, he could, but he wouldn't be the best decision.
Exactly. So it kind of like it helps to see what will be Coach K's strategy if these two were to meet in the national championship. Like how would he handle those like Kentucky's ability to go 10 deep?
I get what you're saying.
I don't know. I don't think Coach K would change his strategy at all.
Like if it's any coach that could outcoach Calipari, it is definitely Coach K.
I think there are a couple other guys that could do it too, but Tom Izzo, Rick Pitino.
I mean, Kevin Ollie did it last year.
Jim Boeheim.
He didn't outcoach Calipari, I would say. Coaching it's very deep. Coaching, you have to take into account recruiting. But let's just move on to our predictions for the
all 4 games.
Yes. So I'm going to read off the games, and I want to hear your predictions. So Duke and Gonzaga, I think it's pretty.
Duke. So I think we consensus we all pick Duke.
Yes. And then Louisville, Michigan State.
I'm going to take Michigan State.
Michigan.
I'm actually going Louisville. I like their tenacious, kind of like big men.
They have the guy on their team right now. I think Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell.
He has dunked the ball more times than any player in Louisville history.
That is awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is that a fact or?
No, that's a fact.
And Duke, like, don't get me wrong, like, Duke is a beast.
Yeah, dude, he
Like,
reminds me a lot of like Kenneth Fareed type.
Like, dude is a beast. Like,
if I had to project him next level, he'd be like an animal. Like he'd be
he's that scrappy. It's like he's like one of those guys. Like if you turn your back when he has the ball, you probably gonna get dunked on.
All right, Kentucky, Notre Dame.
I'm gonna take Notre Dame.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm gonna pick it. I'm gonna go with it.
I mean,
This is your credibility on the line, David. You're picking against Kentucky.
I'm taking Notre Dame.
That makes me ever more confident Kentucky's going to win.
I'm not confident at all. I'm just gonna go on a whim.
Then why are you picking them if you're not
I'm gonna take Notre Dame. I'm just gonna take Notre Dame. I feel
with very little thought behind it
and very little confidence behind it.
Kentucky.
No confidence in the pick. I'm just gonna take them.
Kentucky. What's next?
Then it's Arizona and Wisconsin.
Arizona. I think it'll be really close. I think it'll be the best.
That's gonna be the best game.
I think it's gonna be the best of the 4 games by far.
I think it'll be the most watched of the 4 games. The most watched, the most viewers.
I mean, no one's gonna watch. No one's gonna stay around and watch Kentucky whoop Notre Dame.
They're not gonna
except Kentucky.
It's gonna be
except Big Blue Nation.
It's gonna be a close game.
I think
Notre Dame's gonna win.
And I think
they're gonna win in overtime.
Wisconsin's taking.
They're gonna win in overtime.
Yeah, Notre Dame's gonna win in overtime.
Okay, since we're going that far, what will be your final score? What's your final score?
60-58
in overtime.
Yeah.
Kentucky wins by 12.
Oh, all right.
I say 10. Kentucky wins. I feel like it's gonna be close up until like that 8-minute mark in the second half, and then Kentucky's gonna be Kentucky and just pull away.
All right. Well, a true great in the NBA retired this week. Steve Nash. He's got 2 MVPs, but no rings. Let's talk about the point guard ranking. Where do you have him all-time point guard?
Top 3.
No.
He's definitely top 3.
I'm not as high on Nash. I know you guys are high on Nash.
I'm not super high on it. I'm not like I'd say I'm not super high, but I would take Magic. I would take Jason Kidd. I would probably take
Jason Kidd over him.
Oh yeah. I would take
Stockton over him.
Stockton. I would take Isaiah.
Take George Gervin over him.
George Gervin wasn't a point guard.
Isn't he a 1 or 2? He was a combo guard.
He wasn't a point guard. Dude was like a small forward.
I don't think he was a point guard now.
Oh yeah. Well, he's past my time.
He's past all our times. You make us sound like really old. He was playing before any of us were born.
I'll take Russell Westbrook.
I would
all time.
Right now.
Right? No.
Maybe in 10 years.
Okay.
Okay. When Russell Westbrook's career's over.
I get what you're saying. Like Magic. I'll pick Magic. Isaiah Thomas.
I'll take Gary Payton.
No.
At least Gary Payton has a ring.
No.
Like J Kidd.
He won a garbage ring.
It's not a garbage ring.
Like,
he played.
I'll pick Nash.
He was on that Heat team, right? That won the ring.
That 06 Heat team, yeah.
Yeah, with Zoe and
Jay Will.
He didn't even start on that team. I'm pretty sure Jay Williams.
Jay Williams was definitely starting.
Yeah, because Gary Payton was old at that point.
He's like 40.
I mean, Jason Williams was pretty old too.
Yeah, but he still played like 5 more years after that.
I mean, Gary Payton played a decent amount of minutes where it's not like
Gary Payton over Steve Nash. Yes. I think that's
ridiculous. Jinx.
Gary Payton did one thing better.
Play defense.
That's it. That is it.
And his rep kind of got tainted when he said he could hold Mike to like 10 points, and Mike just ripped him to shreds.
Well, Mike did that to a lot of people.
But it's like, at least, but like, don't get me wrong. Like, I admire Gary Payton's confidence when he said that statement. But
is Gary Payton even in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, he is.
He is?
I think so.
I don't know about that.
I feel Gary Payton played in a tougher era than what Steve Nash did, and Gary Payton played longer than Steve Nash. See, Steve Nash he didn't start coming to the NBA right away. You know, like he kind of had a late start to his career.
He was the backup to Jason Kidd, I think.
In Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Nash had a nice career. He's a very good player, a great player at one point. But
This is funny. Think about this. J. Kidd started off in Dallas, got traded to Phoenix. Steve Nash comes in, he plays in Dallas. Then years later, he gets traded to Phoenix.
And then Jason Kidd wins a ring in Dallas.
It's like they was like, for a minute, it sounds like they were like kind of following each other just a little bit. Like,
I think their career arcs are very similar. Except Jason Kidd played in a lot more big games
and got a ring.
Yeah, he also
and
played.
He
He
was
also
triple-double machine, too.
He went to back-to-back finals with the Nets.
Yeah, and then he won a ring with the
Mavs.
Yeah, like Jason Kidd.
Like,
I would take
Steve-
Jason Kidd over Steve Nash.
Like Steve Nash, like
Probably.
he came close. Like he went
And
to
if he doesn't, if Mario Stoudemire doesn't get suspended for that game against the Spurs,
like he went to a couple Western Conference finals. It was just his misfortune that he had to run into the Spurs and the Lakers.
Kryptonite, yeah, the Spurs.
He beat the Lakers a lot, though. The Suns used to beat up on the Lakers.
That's when Kobe was like
Smush Parker on the Lakers.
Yeah, like that one series when the Lakers were up 3-1.
Yeah,
and Phoenix came roaring back and won 4-3. I was just
and I mean, Steve Nash had some good running mates in his career. He had Mario Stoudemire, Shawn Marion, Matrix,
Joe
Johnson,
Quinn
Yeah,
Richardson.
but like all of those guys that they like Phoenix Suns, they have all these guys and they just trade them away. Like they had Luol Deng.
Traded them away.
Yeah, they had Rajon Rondo.
Traded them away.
Wait, they had Luol Deng?
Yeah, they traded his draft rights to
the Bulls. Oh, okay.
They never actually had Luol Deng.
Okay, so it's kind of like
same thing with Rondo. They drafted Rondo, but you know how it is. Like,
yeah,
player gets drafted, but they
kind of like Bulls and LaMarcus Aldridge. Yeah, I'm not trying to get you guys off tangent, but Steve Nash had a nice career, Hall of Famer, sure. But
he's always like he's one of those players you wish got one.
I don't know.
Like to me,
I hate the Phoenix Suns, man. I just
it's like to me, I feel like Nash, he's the epitome of like.
He's like the Charles Barkley.
He had an admirable career. He was admirable. I
never did anything
I respected
wrong.
how he carried himself. But I kind of feel like he, fell into the darkness.
Like outside of these last
Father Time caught up with him.
Exactly. Like, outside of these last 2 or 3 years, he was known for keeping his body ready, in good shape. Like he was known for that. Like players were going to him, like, hey man, how do I keep my body in shape?
Yeah. It's through that Phoenix thing. Their training staff in Phoenix is phenomenal.
Yeah, they do have one of the best.
And whatever they're doing to management, because you never hear the Phoenix Suns with all these ridiculous injuries that the Bulls have, because their training staff is just,
whatever they doing, it's
yeah. They're like whatever the diet. Could be. Everyone's happier when it's not cold.
That's true.
Probably the best place to live.
It's easy to move around after practice.
So, out of all the players that never won a ring, where would he rank for just those players that didn't win a ring?
I think Reggie Miller is light years ahead of Steve Nash in terms of...
What about the round mound of rebound?
Pardon?
It's Charles Barkley, dude.
Oh, the round... Oh, sorry. Didn't catch that.
The round mound
Did
of
not
rebound.
catch that at all.
The round mound of rebound.
I mean, it's just Barkley's misfortune. Like, you played in the same era as Jordan. Like,
A lot of those guys have that same beef.
Karl Malone, John
Patrick
Stockton.
Ewing.
Yeah.
Like, Ewing came... At least Ewing, actually went to a finals. Like, they lost to Houston, but he went to one.
Okay.
I give Steve Nash
pat on the back.
a slight edge over players like Chris Webber, who haven't won a ring.
Yeah.
Just because Steve Nash, he's won 2 MVPs, and I feel like he was more dominant in his position than Chris Webber was. But players like I said, Reggie Miller, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley,
How can y'all not?
they're definitely an altitude above
I wouldn't.
Nash.
I wouldn't put him ahead of Allen Iverson. I would put Iverson.
Allen Iverson's probably...
I would have Iverson. Like, to me, he's like
having
one.
Allen Iverson? Oh, okay.
Iverson's one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because for him to carry
titles.
for him to carry that 76ers team
Aaron McKee
to the finals, that in itself.
I will never forget when AI hit that 3 in the finals. When he hit that 3 on the corner, and he just did the stomp.
Matter of fact, he crossed Tyronn Lue, made the 3, and stepped over him. Like, one thing people love about Allen Iverson, he brought the street game to NBA hard.
I love watching Allen Iverson highlights. He was just
like he's the only guy I know that sagged his shorts. They're already long. They're already long. Like, he sagged his shorts. He played with his jersey untucked. He tattoos, the sleeves, the headband.
Allen Iverson was ahead of his time, I think.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Well,
All right.
do you have anything else you have to say about Steve Nash?
No,
this 40-year-old fading
41.
Yeah.
41.
He was fun while it lasted, I guess.
One of the best passers to ever do it. Like I said, one of those players that I wish he had a ring, just didn't happen. Hall of Fame for sure though. First ballot. First ballot.
Probably, yeah.
Like if he's left off, like there's like riot.
All
Best
right,
player actually come out of Canada too.
So we're gonna segue. I think Andrew Wiggins, when all said and done, will probably be better. But
Not if he stays in Minnesota.
Anthony Bennett. Just kidding. Just messing.
So we're gonna move on now to the NFL draft. There's been a lot of talk about the running backs in this year's draft class. Where do you have them going?
So let's talk about the main two running backs, and that certainly is Melvin Gordon and Todd Gurley.
Okay.
Todd Gurley was having a phenomenal season in Georgia until he
got suspended, and then he tore.
Tore his ACL. Then his draft stock kind of depleted for a while. They're thinking, maybe early second round pick, but people are still high on him, even though he's not letting teams check out his knee because he's very talented.
They have him. I've seen some mocks, but they have him in the top 10. Todd Gurley.
That might be ludicrous.
That might be way too high.
I can see Todd Gurley going as early as San Diego,
17th.
I can see him going there.
If I was the Chargers, I'd rather have Gordon.
Melvin Gordon.
He has less less question marks.
Yeah, that's a.
Less red
He's
flags.
tougher.
It's not even that. It's just like the ACL things. It's just like it makes me nervous because
that and like you said, like less red flags. Like with Todd Gurley being suspended, like that kind of.
Yeah, because
the thing about Wisconsin running backs is they don't always pan out well in the NFL.
But
Ball's been.
He's
been all right.
No, he hasn't.
He's been injured a lot.
Look at his yards per carry average, and it's below 4, which is the average.
But he's not. Their offensive line isn't exactly.
It wasn't bad.
Ideal.
They have Ryan Clady and Orlando Franklin, and they have a decent center.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not blaming their offensive line for Monty Ball's lack of production. C.J. Anderson ran pretty well, pretty damn well, if you ask me.
Monty Ball just seems like he's made of glass at this point. He's just injured all the time now.
He's a good pass receiver, out of the backfield. But Melvin Gordon, he gets comparisons to Jamal Charles on the next level.
No,
there's been plenty of comparisons.
Who does that?
What?
Who does that? Who compared him to Jamal Charles?
Many of NFL analysts have compared him.
They need their heads examined.
On what level?
I think DeMarco Murray is closer to what his ceiling, I guess, is.
Are you saying because he's bigger than Jamal Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about the style he plays, and
I
not
understand
his physical comparison, but like how electric
whenever I watch Melvin Gordon, I never think.
I never think Jamal Charles.
Yeah, that seems. I don't know.
I don't know. I see it.
If I had to compare him, I guess to like a super good running back, I guess he's more like LT than he would be Jamal Charles. But I think that's a stretch too. I don't see the Jamal Charles thing at all.
Let's wait until he plays it down.
Yeah, we'll see who he plays for. San Diego.
Where does he fit? Like if you need a run teams teams don't they need running backs, but do you waste a first round? I'm not gonna. Oh yeah,
that's not a.
Not gonna say a waste, but do you risk? There you go.
I would.
Do you risk getting the first? Do you risk getting the running back in the first round?
If I was a GM in the league, I would never take a running back in the first round. Never.
And I disagree. In certain situations, teams need a running back, and it could pay off. As of late, it hasn't. I understand that with Trent Richardson. There's another recent Darren McFadden, who's kind of been a bust. But you have potential of grabbing an Adrian Peterson.
I just think that their shelf life is so much shorter than every other position in the NFL. Like you can get a different a player from a different position who's going to play a lot longer. Because players at every other position are going to play in excess of 10 years. Like if you get a linebacker, he's going to play for 10 years. If you get a running back, maybe you can get maybe 5 or 6 good years.
I mean, once a running back turns 30, they kind of start teams kind of start preparing for the future.
If you have a chance to get a real difference maker, let's say a Marshawn Lynch, an Adrian Peterson, a LaShawn McCoy, you don't let that player slip right by you. What Marshawn Lynch is basically carried Seattle through the playoffs and into the Super Bowl the past 2 years. The value is there. A lot of people underestimate running backs, but some teams really rely on the old school style of play.
I mean, like the average career for a running back is what, 3 years?
Yes. That's the NFL
you
career.
You can get value at that position later. It's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, it depends on team needs though. Like I can see a running back going to Detroit. I can see a running back going to Dallas.
But I think those teams have holes elsewhere that are more glaring, like more
I mean, like
pressing.
Detroit
might need him.
Detroit needs a cornerback.
They re-signed Rasheed Mathis to a 2-year deal.
That is ancient.
I mean, like
he was a shutdown corner, but he's not now.
You kind of need to get another D tackle out there. You did just lose Nick Fairley
and Dominic Sue,
but they got Haloti Ngata,
who's like a replacement.
He's like ancient too.
Okay.
Yeah, and their offensive line isn't stellar either by any means.
No,
yes, I admit they have other holes.
Matt Stafford kind of hits he eats the turf a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
But I can definitely see them picking up a running back because Detroit likes electric players. Detroit goes for the big name players in drafts.
I think they'll draft one, but it won't be in the first round.
So the Chargers need a running back.
The
Chargers need a running back.
A Tevin Coleman.
The Chargers need a running back, but they have needs elsewhere too.
I mean, Dallas doesn't really need a running back. They have Joseph Randle.
Randle is not a quality running back. Darren McFadden, we're gonna have to wait and see. I don't know if he's
Darren McFadden is a good player when he's healthy, but he's healthy.
New England might need a running back.
There's only 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Darren McFadden will get injured.
Damn. Like, New England might actually wait on getting a running back because they're going to need to replace Vince Wilfork. Dante Hightower might be leaving. They're going to need another corner because two corners because they lost Brandon Browner and they lost Darrelle Revis. So they just need to like reshape that defense.
They still have like Garrett Blount under contract, so I don't think they'll get it.
In another team, like a lot of people don't really imagine them getting a running back. I've seen mock drafts where Houston might get a running back because Arian
Foster's getting miles on the tires.
He's getting hurt all the time.
He's been hurt a lot. He gets hurt a lot too.
Who's their backup? Alfred Blue.
He's not a legitimate running back in the NFL.
No, exactly, and he's their number 2 since they lost Ben Tate. They need help. The Vikings, we don't know what the Adrian Peterson situation is going to be.
Too busy riding camels.
Arizona really needs a running back.
They always needed a running back.
Yeah, even since Edge. But even though Edge wasn't like that great of a player for him,
Edge was like at the end of his career at that point.
Yeah,
I feel like they need another. They need a younger quarterback. Like, don't get me wrong, Carson Palmer. They were doing great.
They gave him
before,
a lot of money
before Carson
to be the
Palmer
starter for a couple more seasons.
Yeah, so you can't even think about getting quarterback right now. So,
I think they have 2 guys who can be serviceable at that. Like, they have Drew Stanton if he's still there next year. And then Carson Palmer, you say what you want about Carson Palmer, he's been a really good player in this league.
Yes, but you owe it to Larry Fitz. Like, it's like, I
think as long as Carson Palmer stays healthy,
so you want to hit the reset button with a rookie quarterback at the end of Larry Fitz's career? A rookie quarterback's not going to propel them to the next level.
I am at, like, last year's draft, I had Derek Carr going to Arizona.
That would have been interesting if they had gotten him, but they did not. I don't know. I mean, Carson Palmer will be fine for 2 more seasons, but like before they have to really do anything about it.
But it is a deep running back class. Amir Abdullah is pretty talented. Tevin Coleman out of Indiana is probably going to be a 2nd-round pick, maybe early 2nd-round pick. There's a couple other guys. I think UCLA has a decent running back too that declared. So there is talent later on. Let me ask you guys a question. How many running backs do you think will be drafted in the first round this year? Dave?
2. Probably 2.
You're going 2?
Yeah.
I'm going.
I wouldn't, but I think they will. I think the Chargers will take one, and I think probably the Cowboys will take another one.
You think the Cowboys are going to run?
Yeah. Whichever one, they'll take Todd Gurley or Melvin Gordon, whichever one falls to them.
One of those, they're going to go.
I think the Chargers will take one too. I think they'll take one of the 2, Todd Gurley or Melvin Gordon. Probably Gurley, if I had to.
Unless one team is feeling Amir Abdullah more than those 2.
Then I can tell you that's not the case for many. Probably
those are the only 2 that I would take in the first round. That would be it.
And Amir Abdullah has size issues. He's only like 5'8". People don't want a 5'8" running back in the first round.
But
yeah,
I would take those. Those are the only two. But if I was doing, I wouldn't. No way. I would wait.
Yeah, I would wait.
Ty Gurley has so many red flags.
At least second round for a running back.
Ty Gurley has too many red flags. I mean, the fact that he won't let people see the knee. I know that just seems.
He didn't participate in Georgia's pro day.
I don't understand. I don't like if you.
Like
I don't understand teams that are even considering drafting him in the first round.
I think
with that red flag. Like why when people see it?
I think Ty Gurley I think the only thing Ty Gurley did at the Georgia Pro Day was like probably bench. Other than that, like I don't think he did the vertical jump. He didn't run. He didn't do anything. Like he just pretty much did bench.
Yeah, that's just too much.
He just did the 225. Like
I wouldn't touch that at all. I don't know why. Like what are you afraid of that you won't let people look at your knee? Like what is? I don't know. That would be a enormous red flag. I don't know.
Yeah, I
think he's good enough to go in the first round, but I don't know.
I think only one running back's gonna be drafted in the first round. I think it's gonna be Melvin Gordon.
Where's he going?
I have Melvin Gordon. It's either San Diego, but I can see San Diego like bolstering their offensive line or their defensive line. So like they're very weak up front, in my opinion. I mean, they have good tackles, but interior line
they're weak in the trenches.
Yeah,
definitely
where it matters. Really.
Yeah, and so I mean, I can see Arizona definitely taking a running back unless they address a cornerback opposite of Patrick Peterson.
Because they just lost in Cromartie.
Yes, they did. So I mean, I feel like one of these teams are going to gamble, but I don't think Ty Gurley is going to be drafted. I think teams are going to use their heads and be like, okay, well, there, like you were saying, Dave, there are too many red flags with Ty Gurley, and they're probably going to go in another direction.
I think if he gets right though, he's going to be a steal. Whoever ends up with him, he's going to be. I think he's going to be phenomenal next level if he gets healthy.
I also think like with drafting, this is with drafting any player, like he has to fit the scheme. Like
I think running backs more than any other position are almost scheme proof. Like you could put a running back. You could put a running back into any scheme and have them be productive because it's really just handing the ball.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Like, so you mean if you put like a downhill running back?
If I take Adrian Peterson and I took him off the Vikings and I put him on, let's say I put him on the Dolphins, he's going to be a productive player no matter what team I put him on.
But a lot of people don't understand how zone blocking works in the NFL. Like certain running backs are more one-cut backs, and others prefer, would benefit from zone blocking. And there is a scheme.
Adrian Peterson doesn't need a block.
No, he doesn't.
I'm just saying, if you're a really good running back, you can play in any system and be productive. If you're a good running back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I buy that. Like I'm all in on that statement.
So is DeMarco Murray a scheme fit bad? Like, do you think he's gonna have the same success in Chip Kelly's offense that he did down in Dallas?
I don't think he's gonna have as much numbers.
I don't think he's gonna get as many touches.
Yes. Oh, I hope.
I hope not.
Yeah.
So yeah, his production is obviously gonna be limited because he's not gonna have.
But then again, like he might.
I mean,
because they have three other running backs on that roster. Ryan Matthews, they have Darren Sproles still, unless they trade Darren Sproles, which I mean maybe.
I don't see it. I can see three.
Why did they get Ryan Matthews if they were going to sign DeMarco Murray? Like I don't get it.
Probably to just in case injuries happen, to take a lot of pressure off of DeMarco Murray to try to preserve his career.
They have Darren Sproles and they have that other guy. Yeah,
but Darren Sproles is used for more than just a running back.
He's a punt returner.
He's their kick returner. He's their punt returner.
It's kind of like a pass receiving, screen.
I know he's the third down back. Like,
he's
the quintessential
pass catching
third down.
He's their Percy. Like he's their Percy Harvin. He does everything for them.
He's not Percy Harvin.
I'm not saying he's Percy. He's their Percy Harvin.
He's kind of like our Inspector Gadget. Like he can do
Inspector Gadget.
He's versatile. He can do.
He's the Swiss Army knife of the Eagles.
What is Percy Harvin?
Tomato. All right.
You just validated what I just said.
Percy Harvin.
You just validated what I just said. I want you to know this.
I wouldn't.
You validated what I just said.
Bring it home, boys. Bring it home.
No.
Percy Harvin and Darren Sproles are not the same player, and
their caliber is the same.
No, they're not, dude.
Their play style is the same. Their play style is the
going
same.
anywhere. This doesn't matter. All right. What does matter is the Eagles running back situation. All right. Ryan Matthews is not a great pass receiving running back.
He's not a good running back at all. He had one season where he had one season
on
where he had more.
On what grounds do you stand on when you make that statement?
He had one season where he had more broken clavicles than touchdowns.
Oh, cool. All right, that's a valid point.
Then
no,
again,
really,
like,
seriously.
This is the Chargers. Like their front line isn't the best.
Yeah, okay.
Ryan Matthews shows he's a very good 2-down back.
Same thing with
he runs very hard, and he's kind of explosive too. He's not
so
an
overrated.
outside the
He's
tackle.
disgustingly overrated.
He's not overrated. No one's like, oh, Ryan Matthews. Oh, he's the best running back in the NFL. No one says that stuff.
Ryan Matthews is
I mean, yeah, okay, maybe in mock drafts on your fantasy football league, people might pick him kind of early, but still, like, he's not an overrated back, and I feel like he is a good complement to Darren Sproles, who's a great pass receiving
but
back.
that's all fine if you don't sign DeMarco Murray to a bunch of money. Like,
we have running backs galore. We're changing the kind of how teams play in the NFL. The Eagles are changing, like,
the Eagles are changing the NFL.
They are. The play style of the NFL is changing.
But when you think about
it's constantly changing, David. This is the new trend.
But that wasn't just the Eagles didn't start that. That's been going on for a long time.
And start what? What trend are you speaking about?
Like the faster paced offense. We're snapping the ball faster, running the no huddle all the time.
But who perfected it?
Patriots.
Wasn't the Eagles.
What?
It wasn't them.
I think
the Eagles led the league in offense the past 2 years.
I think the Patriots have
the Patriots don't play at the same rate the Eagles played at or have.
It's close.
No, it's not.
It's pretty close.
It is not close.
The Patriots, you look it up.
There's like at least a 9-second difference between I guess from one snap to the next. Like the Eagles get to the line a lot faster than any other team, and it's not even close. And now we're gonna try running the ball more. Now we're gonna bring that style, try and take away from.
So that's actually gonna slow the game down.
Yeah, maybe, but
possibly, yes.
I think it'll make them a better fourth quarter team, like having the running backs, because once they get a lead, they'll be able to grind out some more wins. Because the thing with McCoy is that
he'll lose 2 yards sometimes. Yeah. 2nd and 12s are terrible.
Let's just hope when they get a solid lead on the NFC East that they can actually hold on and win the NFC East.
I hope that happens because I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I don't. The Giants have talent, but
they need to fire Tom Coughlin.
They need to.
I agree with that.
I think they need to. Eli Manning needs to.
They just need
do
to
something else with the rest of his career.
They just need to reboot that whole system.
Yeah, it's Eli Manning. It doesn't seem like himself at all. His days are numbered.
He's inconsistent.
That's Eli Manning. That's been his MO his entire career. He's been wildly inconsistent.
When he's good, he's great though.
When he's good, he wins championships.
When he's good, he gets 2 fucking lucky catches to win the Super Bowl. 2. The helmet catch and David's and Mario Manningham's like
that was a really nice pass.
Yeah, that was a great pass.
If Wells Walker, let's see, if Wells Walker doesn't drop that easy first down in the second Super Bowl,
forget luck. Luck doesn't. I'm not talking about Andrew Luck. The luck is not a real thing. Eli Manning brought his team to 2 championships based on his arm, his courage, his ability to. Play quarterback in the NFL.
Eli Manning
is
the definition of clutch. Like he is clutch.
He's a clutch player.
Yeah. And the Redskins are going to be terrible. Probably they're probably going to be the worst team in that division.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean,
you got something against RG3?
I like RG3. I wish he wasn't so unfortunate. I think Jay Gruden, that's his name, the head coach. I feel like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
I think he's overwhelmed as a head coach.
I think he's an okay offensive coordinator, but I think he's got no grasp on the Washington Redskins. And then they lost like a lot of line. Didn't they lose a Rakpo? I think he's a Titan now.
No, he didn't. Nobody signed him yet.
No, he's a Tennessee Titan.
That's a nice signing for them.
That actually is a nice signing.
And then they kept Eric Morgan. Good for them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Tennessee. Maybe won't be the second worst team in the NFL this year.
No, they will be.
I mean, like, who do they have? Who's their quarterback? I mean,
Zach Menberger, and then they got Bishop Sinke. They're handing the ball off to.
Do they still have Sean Green?
Yes. I think so.
I mean, like they have Leonard Williams going to them second DN out of USC. Who's
Leonard Williams is scary.
That guy's a beast.
Like he's got the physical tools to take his team to the next level. He's 300 pounds, 6'5", 6'6", and he's a defensive tackle, defensive end hybrid. You can do so much, and he just hasn't reached his full talent yet. But once he does, it's gonna be scary.
It's gonna be scary.
He's gonna be wrecking havoc. He's gonna wreck.
I kind of feel bad he's gonna be going to the Titans. I feel like that's some like most unflashy team in the NFL right now.
I agree.
Like the Titans, they're just like.
I think
they're just there.
They're the ugliest team in
Cleveland.
the NFL.
No, dude, I
Johnny Jam Boogie, baby.
I think
Johnny Manziel he needs to leave.
Leave what? Rehab?
No, like he needs to know like.
You should go and play in the CFL or something. I don't think he's ever going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. He might have the Tim Tebow effect. Kind of first round pick and can't find work a couple years later. But I mean, he'll be fine. His family's rich. I'm sure he'll.
Yeah, they got all that oil money.
I kind of feel like going to Cleveland, like it really didn't help his career.
But they did it just solely for PR, like just to get people talking about the Browns.
Exactly.
Because why else besides the Josh Gordon thing? Why are we talking about Cleveland?
Cleveland's got good defense.
Yeah, they got Joe Hayden.
They have Dante Whitner.
Yeah.
It's Hittner.
Or Hittner, sorry.
It's Dante Hittner now.
They lost Buster Screen, but they their first round pick last year, Justin Gilbert, is a promising cornerback. They have Markevius Mingo.
He's a nice compliment.
Paul Kruger's not bad.
Paul Kruger's erroneously overpaid.
Yeah, he's still a respectable, formidable player. I think they lost Jabal Sheard.
David, you either think someone's overrated, underrated, or overpaid.
Dude, Paul Kruger is
Mr. Hyperbole.
Paul Kruger is.
Like, did you notice that?
I know.
Paul Kruger is overpaid.
I mean, to an extent, you're right. He is kind of overpaid. I think they have Jarrett Johnson still, but
they still got Joe Thomas.
Yeah,
he still blocks. Alex Mack.
I mean, their offensive line is decent too. I mean, if they can find a running back who can stay healthy for more than 2 games.
Isaiah Crowell.
Yeah.
Well, but in all seriousness, they need to totally revamp their wide receiving corps. Miles Austin is your starting receiver.
They have Hawkins too.
If you're Cleveland, do you wait for Josh Gordon? Do you just give
I would cut him.
You give him his walking papers?
Oh yeah, I would have already done it.
What about you?
I think it could be good for his career too. Let him go.
Go get a fresh start somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's so talented though.
Yeah, but he's not gonna play. He's not gonna play at all this season.
Okay, but I'd probably let him go after I figure out that he failed yet another alcohol drug test.
I would.
So you give him
I'd probably cut him just because you missed damn near all last year, and you're gonna miss all this upcoming year.
Not to mention when he came back last year, he had almost no effect on the team at all.
His first game back, he played well, but then after that,
the other ones,
the other games he disappeared.
Then again, he missed
12 games.
12 games.
Yeah.
So you're only giving him what? 4 games to do something.
But the thing is,
he wasn't as dynamic as he was the season before.
Their need at the wide receiver position is so pressing. I'm not sure if you get rid of him right now. I don't think you can.
I don't know if you can ever. I don't know if you can ever rely on him. It's I don't know if you can ever rely on him ever to be in your on your team at any given time anymore, because he's gonna be on rehab. All this stuff is gonna be going on with him, where it's gonna be drug tests. You never know if he's gonna fail and you're gonna lose him. Yeah, I think for his career too. I think being cut for him could be almost a wake up call. He can go in.
Or might bury him.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it could either way, but it could be the Chris Carter. What happened to Chris Carter? Chris Carter was a really good, really talented player, and then he got cut by the Eagles, and then he got picked up by the Vikings, and
Chris Carter, he had a pretty bad drug problem.
Yeah, so him getting cut was he says he's the best thing that ever happened to his career.
So players like Johnny Manziel, Josh Gordon, maybe getting party animals like them, maybe getting cut would be
wake up call.
Serious wake up call. Get my more. I feel like more so for Josh Gordon because I think football is all he knows. Johnny Manziel gets cut, it's not the end of the world for Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
With Johnny Manziel though, I don't think I've seen enough of him to the point where I want to cut my first round pick just of last year.
That's what I'm saying though. I feel like him going to Cleveland, like David said, that was a complete PR movement. Mm-hmm. there were so many teams that passed up on Johnny Manziel that needed a quarterback like Minnesota. Like
I think they're doing pretty well with themselves.
Teddy Bridgewater.
I think he's the truth.
Yeah, Bridgewater's he was good last season.
He led them to a lot more victories than I expected.
Like I don't know. Like I feel like
I'd rather have Bridgewater than Manziel.
I agree. 100% of the time.
Someone with the gloves on.
Yeah.
That kind of hurt his. That kind of hurt his draft stock a little bit though. But anyway,
that pro day was bad. But
he had a really bad pro day.
He's doing well for himself now.
He's doing all right. Yeah, he's gonna be a productive player for like 10 years probably.
Yeah, he's probably. The Vikings might be the second best team in that division.
I don't know the team for Johnny Manziel.
No. I don't know. The Lions are gonna be better than them.
I don't know the team for
Johnny Manziel. I don't know if the
Manziel.
Bears will be. I don't know.
The Bears won't be.
I don't know the team for Johnny Manziel, but it's not Cleveland. It is not. It's definitely not.
Maybe Houston.
He's under contract.
That's who I thought was like. I felt like Houston should have got him.
They got Tom Savage.
They have Hoyer, and then they have.
I feel like
Mallet.
I feel like
him. Tom Savage.
I feel like him going to Houston would have been perfect for him. Like he's right at home. He's like.
Yeah, sometimes I think people want to get him away from like that area. Like if they have problems, like
Can you imagine though?
Yeah. Take him away from where he's.
Because that's why like I question like Tampa Bay taking
Jameis
Winston. Yeah, because like,
you're keeping him where he he has
but
friends.
outside of. Okay, like Manziel, he had the incident at the he went to university, he went to Texas University, he went to one of the a frat party there, and it wasn't necessarily an incident, it
was a little bit of an incident.
It was more
the
so
media made it more than what it actually was.
It was more so the frat guys at Texas than him, because like he's leaving, they're throwing beer cans outside of the autograph thing. Like, has he really? Like in college, outside of the autograph.
Well, he overslept for that Peyton Manning football camp because he was hungover.
I spoke with Jordan Lynch. I think a year ago because Jordan Lynch was at that that same thing, and the day before he told me that Johnny Manziel was like, "Hey guys, let's go to a LSU. They're throwing a huge frat party or something like that." And then Jordan Lynch is more mellow, to himself. He's not really about going out like that. And then Johnny Manziel went out, and then his phone died or whatever. It came back, and
the rest is history.
And he was really hungover. He got really drunk that night, and he overslept. And that's what happened.
How do you oversleep for Peyton Manning's football camp? Like Peyton Manning. Like if there was one guy, if you're a quarterback, there's one guy you'd want to like try to learn everything possible from. It'd be Peyton Manning.
Yeah. And like, why would you party at a frat and get so wasted to the point where you don't know where you are, you let your phone die, and you oversleep and you're hungover? Like,
and you're and you're gonna go to Peyton Manning's football camp. Peyton Manning, if you want to learn like how to like conduct yourself as a pro.
And all the top quarterbacks in the country are there. Like Jordan Lynch was there. Who else was? I think Teddy Bridgewater.
Jordan Lynch is. Let's not.
I'm not just saying. I mean, he had a great year that year.
Yeah.
All the best college quarterbacks were there, and Johnny Manziel made an ass out of himself, and that's saying it mildly. And it seems like he hasn't gotten over that issue. Hopefully, this rehab helps him for the sake of his personal life and his career.
But hey, at least he's not, stealing crab legs out of a store.
I don't know.
I heard some reports that I guess that was pretty standard operating procedure for players.
I heard that too.
The players were pretty much allowed. It's just like this one guy just made a big deal about it.
Maybe he was new on the job, didn't understand.
I mean, we're talking about Johnny Manziel's personal health. Like, I feel like Jameis Winston right now is in better condition than Johnny Manziel, because I don't feel Manziel's stable at this moment. He's been in rehab for a while.
I think James Winston also has. He's like a better prospect. He's bigger. He's got bigger arm. He's got better intangibles.
Pro style system.
And he's
very accurate.
He's come up bigger in big games than Manziel does, I guess. I mean,
somewhat.
That's tough to say because
Manziel was pretty clutch.
Yeah,
Manziel was pretty clutch.
He was good.
It's just the fact that when he was at his last year at A&M, their defense was so terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
Their defense was so terrible. It was kind of like they were putting it all on him to make something happen.
Yeah.
It's just it was just lucky for them that he was able to make something happen.
Yeah, Brilliant. He was brilliant at times.
But I think that's all.
I think that's all we're going to cover for today. This is the Triangle signing out. Peace out, guys. We'll be back next week.